What's good, everyone? It's your girl Maxo, the real hottie. This is another fire episode of Special Edition right here on Trust the Process, where we give you a fresh perspective from fresh people. I have an amazing guest in studio today. I'm joined by Dillan Oliphant. How amazing is that, Dillan? No, I need to come up with a new sound, don't you think? Because I feel like everyone, because when I was in varsity in 2017, we were like, po, 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 for everything. And now if you do it, I'm like...
They should do it at funerals too. While the body goes down. Po, 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 po.
Dillan, it's too early. First of all, let's start. How are you really? I mean, this is a question that we shouldn't take lightly, and don't just say, oh no, I'm fine. How are you really? Like, there's a lot going on in the world, and we want to make it a point where we get to ask people such as yourself, how are you really?
I'm doing okay. I'm putting all my efforts in my works lately. That's why when I have drama, I go to a stage and talk about that drama. Mm-hmm. So I'm doing okay, man. I just wanted to stand-up comedy right now. So I'm just in that vibe where I'm on stage every single night. That's my vibe.
That's amazing. And this has happened since everything has opened up.
Since everything has opened up, yeah, because COVID was the saddest time. Well, the first 20 days that Cyril promised us would only be 20 days was... That was lekker.
Yeah.
I had a good time because I could play, because you could do things without feeling guilty.
Yeah.
I could play PlayStation and just hang with myself, talk to myself, because that's all you could do. Read a book.
Yes.
Yeah. Read a book, watch some movies. And then after those 20 days, I was like, hey, no, I need to get out.
Yeah.
We need to get out. All of us needs to get out of here.
And then it turned into 400 and something.
And then like nothing happened. So now I'm back on stage consistently again, every single night. Well, at least try to be on stage every single night. Other nights I'm at home watching Generations, Legacy.
I also watch Generations, so like there's nothing wrong. So you're booked and busy. Yes. And you're happy about it.
Man, it's doing stand-up comedy stand-up comedy is my love. It's my first love. It's my dream. It's my goal. It's the thing I love the most to do. And not being able to do it makes me depressed. It makes me sad.
Wow, that is so profound. I've heard of people who have been in your situations. This is all I want to do. All I want to do is sing. All I want to do is. Some of us have side hustles and. How did you cope though? How did you keep yourself motivated in that time?
Well, it just so happened that I'm also a content creator of some sorts.
Yes.
that's the word they call it, right? The content creator.
Yeah.
CC. So I do man-united videos. So I just kept making content for social media to put my comedy on social media via Man United. And as you know, Man United is funny.
So of course, COVID-19 forced a lot of people to do different things. It forced everyone worldwide to look at things from a different perspective and learn new skills. And that's what you did. You started putting out videos, editing, and even doing your own voiceovers. Talk to us about that.
Well, it just so happens that I was making content before lockdown, but now lockdown came around and I had more time on my hands to make content, because sometimes I can't make content because I'm out doing things. I'm busy. Like right now, I find it a bit more difficult for me to go out to do content in the day because I'm so busy. Stand-up comedy is also, I know it's only done at night, but it's a hard thing to you work during the day so you can be good at night, and then you work at night so you can be good on other nights. You just keep working the process. So, but now with the lockdown, I was just at home. I was just at home doing comedy. I was just at home, not being able to do anything, and it gave me more chance to just do comedy. More and more bought a new iPhone to make videos, because hey, that old iPhone, the videos were grainy. And then I moved to my iPhone, and now I've moved to a camera now.
Aish! Yay!
No more battery problems.
No. So walk us through a typical video you would put out, because I see you're not just limited to football anymore. I almost said soccer. You're not limited.
That's offensive. Can't say the S word when it comes to football.
You're not just limited to doing football videos anymore. I see now you're taking a little bit of the Nando's approach, seeing that you did win the Nando's comedy competition in 2010. You're taking a little bit of a spicy kick towards our government. I was just like, okay. So are you really comfortable with positioning yourself in
Look,
that?
I'm in terms in my stand-up comedy, I don't talk about Man United. I talk about life and what's happened during this time, how the country is feeling, how the world is feeling. So talking about something like our government spending 22 million rand on a flag is pretty standard for a stand-up comedian. I just decided I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna do some more stuff because I'm interested in a lot of things. I'm not just interested in Man United.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not just interested in football. I love I love hip hop. I love movies. I love politics. I was like, I'm gonna talk about whatever I feel like talking about. Yeah, so I just follow whatever I love. That's what I do.
Can I ask you a trick question, but it's not so tricked? If you put out what you love, aren't you scared that people won't love it? Aren't you scared of the controversy?
I am scared. There is a fear that people won't like it. But I'm just like, hey man, if you don't like it, it is what it is. There will be people who like it. I know, because I'm good at my craft and I work on my craft all the time. So there will be people who like it. Until the day I go into the comment section and there's 1,000 comments and 999 people say, wow, you suck. That's the day when I'm going to stop. But if 998 say, I suck, then I'll keep going because there's 2 people who like it.
It's so crazy. You are also one of those public figures that receive a lot of hate. Like, people are so personal. Like, who does that? Coming into your DM, swearing your mother. Like, come on. I mean, everyone that knows you knows that you can't take you too seriously, you know. How do you deal with it? And you deal with it in such a nice way. And it's so sophisticated, if I must say. Because most of the times you don't even say much, but it's the people that love you that fight for you.
Yeah, I guess what I do with the haters is I just let them hate and I keep doing me. That's what you must do. That's what I do. I just let them hate and I do me, and I'll just expose them for what they, because I don't go around hating people. I only hate on one person at the end of my videos. But that's about it. I don't hate people. I don't go around spewing things about people. If I don't like something, that's my motto in life. If I don't like something, I just let it go. I'd rather spend all that energy, that hate energy, on something or someone that I love. Talk about my ex.
Please don't do that.
I love you, ex. Come back now.
One thing about having a comedian in studio is that you always going to laugh whether you don't want to. And some of us have ugly laughs, and now you're just doing this to me, and I'm just like, I wanted to say, Dillan, please, because you know I am as a friend, so I wanted to be like, tell me more, but
No, I've already spoken to my therapist about it. That's all that matters.
You're into comedy, you love football, you love a lot of things. But I think you might have just scored yourself an acting gig.
I did score myself a part in my first advert.
Oh, that's so great!
Yeah.
Obviously, you can't tell us about it yet, but listen, you're venturing into...
It's my first time being in an ad, and we shot the ad last week Sunday. It's an ad for KitKat, This was my first advert, like I say, like my first advert, and it took like from, I never knew that a whole advert can take like a whole day, like from the morning.
Yep.
I woke up when it was dark. I got home when it was dark.
And
That's
you were
because
exhausted.
I went to stalk my ex, but.
Hey, the ex.
Come back soon.
Not you, Dilly. You think your ex or not? If you are the ex that we don't know about, asseblief, come home. Die man nodig jy was koud.
Jou jaar weg.
But it's funny to see how KitKat has collaborated with you. Because where I would assume KitKat's brand image personality is, and you are, yes, more Nando's for me.
Well, I am comedy. KitKat is about having a break, and comedy is about having a break from the troubles of life. So, and KitKat happens to be my favorite chocolate, and I'm not saying that because I'm in the advert. I love KitKat and my ex.
Just like it. Now that we've spoken about comedy, and I've seen a lot on your social media you talking about depression, and it's become a serious, I don't want to say pandemic, but an issue in our country and worldwide. And you also joke around and say you're in therapy. Tell us how that's going.
I've been going to therapy for grief. Like, I lost a loved one, and then and it was a difficult period. Well, still a difficult period, but I'm doing better now. But I go to therapy every now and then. It's weird telling another man my feelings or like life. I'm used to telling like another man my feelings on football. It's weird. So I'm in therapy telling the therapist, hey, I'm living on extra time. I wish God would just blow the whistle in my life. So it's quite the process, but as men and as a man too, you know, because in therapy, there's another man. You're telling another man how you feel about and what you've been experiencing, what you've been going through. So it's you telling another man, and that other man telling you. I've never ever told another man how I feel, and they told me it's okay to cry. I've never ever had that in my life. And therapy, that's what it is, man. It's a place to open your mind and to talk on things that you probably won't tell. That you probably can't tell. It's a place to be vulnerable. And as men, I find it much more easier, even in general now, to be more vulnerable and to speak on my feelings and how I feel about things, and not just about Man United.
And your driver's license.
And my driver's license.
It's such a beautiful thing to hear you say that, because a lot of the time men have these horrible stigmas towards opening up and talking, and then the results of stuff such as suicide, or they end up suffering alone. So it's funny that you're saying that your therapist is a man and you're a man. So two men, and you just come there and you cry. Does he argue?
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't argue.
It's COVID. No arguing.
So he just listens to you and you just vent.
He listens and I speak, and it's great. I think as men, as males, we should all just get together and talk to each other about things that passes football. You know, things about how we feel. We don't talk about our feelings enough and what we've been thinking. And I think that we need to actually start the conversation. It starts with one man and then it spreads. It's like COVID.
Hey, you hitting me with this? You just come and you just hit me with them. So do you think we can expect something like that from you? I mean, using your influence and using your gift to come together and bring different kinds of men together, especially in the community of El Dorado Park. I think we really need people that we look up to, such as yourself, to be able to provide a platform like that. Seeing that we don't have one, there's a forum for women. I don't hear much about men. So is that something that we can expect from you in a few years to come, or is it something you're looking into?
That would actually be something really great. I would definitely, because some of these things also, it starts from boyhood. I would love to start something for young boys, because you have to start a culture of speaking on your feelings and knowing that your feelings matter and your mind and what you're thinking matters. Because in this world, it's hard for colored men to find its place in this world. So yeah, definitely start that.
I hear you saying that it's hard for a colored man to find his place in this world. As a colored comedian, is it also like extremely difficult? Because you're definitely in a league of your own.
Thank you very much. The thing with being a colored comedian is that sometimes people box you as just being funny for a certain group. The audiences seem to think that. Someone once told me at a show, she was like, I'll come to your show, but you only must perform to colored people. And this was at a show where there was only black people. Then I just made all those black people laugh. And she says to me after the show, I only perform to colored people. I was like, what do you mean I only perform? I perform to everyone. Doesn't matter who you are.
The bag has no race.
The bag has no race. I'll even perform to my ex's new boyfriend.
No, but seriously though, you really need to. Do you speak about your ex in therapy? I think you need to speak to your therapist about that. Does she want your dreams or just like it? Ever since we started rolling.
I must say.
Who do you look up to?
Who do I look up to? I look up to my father. My father's a big hero of mine. And my father actually drove me to therapy. So he's the man who cares, who listens to me, and who has the work ethic of someone that I want that work ethic. I always say that in my career, because I chose a career that my father probably wouldn't have wanted for his son. But my father, he got around and he started supporting me. He got around to it, because it's a difficult thing to say when your child comes and says, they don't want to study, they want to make jokes.
For loving.
Now, my father was like, yo, I don't know about that, but he came around. He drove me to gigs and drove me for a few years. For like the first 2 or 3 years, he used to drive me to gigs. And I want my father's support, and I want to be as supportive as my father is, and I want the drive that my father has. So he's and then there's my comedy person I look up to, comedians, is Chris Rock. Chris Rock is my favorite stand-up comedian of all time. That guy is the GOAT. I don't care what anyone says, that guy is the GOAT.
Even though you got a slap piece. Oh, the GOAT.
Yeah, only the GOATs get slapped. And there's only one GOAT that got slapped. So yeah. Chris Rock is the GOAT. I don't like Will Smith, but Chris Rock is the GOAT. Chris Rock is the guy I look up to a lot. Yeah.
Regarding comedy, but what about him?
What about him? Chris Rock his comedy is smart, and I would like to believe that my comedy is also level of smart. Well, some people have told me, wow, you're so smart. It's like, you're so smart. I was like, thank you, DJ Khaled. But then you're loyal, you're grateful. I appreciate it. That's what he said. So I like Chris Rock. I like how he dissects and how he thinks about things, how he thinks about his comedy. His comedy is very thoughtful, and I would like to think that my comedy is very thoughtful. It's very precise. Chris Rock's comedy is very precise. So I look up to that. I want to, as I progress, I want to just become more precise, just better at jokes, better at punchlines, better at my craft.
I hear you say that, and this is trust the process, right? A lot of people come and say, oh, I'm just going to manifest it into the universe. I'm going to be great. I'm going to be great. But they don't work on their craft. And you show time and time again how much research, how much effort goes into what you put out there. Give us a little bit of a picture of what your journey is like. From the thought process of like, I've seen this in the news, maybe I'm going to do a little bit more research about it. I'm going to write some punches. Give us a little bit of a picture.
To be honest with you, I like sitting at a coffee shop. Like that's my first thing. I like nice coffee. So I sit in my coffee. I go sit at a coffee shop, and I take a topic that I'm interested in, a topic that I care for. Like, for instance, the police. If I feel like speaking about the police, then that's what I start researching. I start reading books on the police, how the police operates, and then I start writing about it, start taking notes, start taking ideas from the books, and then start writing jokes about them. Start adding punchlines. Punchlines is my thing. I like punchlines. I like jokes, and then I start talking about. So I like talking about things that I care about, things that I genuinely care about, and that's my MO. So I try and write every single day, at least for 2 hours, spend time writing jokes. Because that's what it must be like. Just because comedy can also be one of those where I've seen a lot of guys like get comfortable. And they have this 20 minutes that works everywhere, everyone likes it. But now you're doing that 20 minutes for 10 years, because that's how you can get stuck doing the same jokes for 10 years. Now you're doing jokes in 2025 about ansychronia. Who wants to hear about ansychronia in 2025?
Yeah, that's so true.
No one wants to hear about ansychronia in 2025, you know? So I just keep working, keep writing. And to be honest with you, open mics and new material nights, I frequent them I was at one last night, and they're not the best of nights. They're not easy nights. They're not the nights where people are like, wow, you're amazing. But I know if I power through these nights, when I get to the big nights, when I'm performing in front of 2,000 people at the Lyric or wherever it is, they're gonna love this, because I've worked so hard to get this 10 minutes to be as great as it can be. So I believe in working on my craft, even and failing until I succeed. Because it takes a lot of like some days you're driving home and you're like, I didn't enjoy that. That was not my favorite part of life right now.
Sure.
But then there'll be a next day to impress drunk audience. Then when I'm good, that ex is gonna come back. Come back soon.
That's amazing. We often mistake the process for good things only. But now you're saying something so profound as in embrace your failures.
Yeah.
Use them to pioneer yourself into something bigger.
It's basically fail until you succeed. It's gonna be part of my career is facing disappointments and facing heartache and sorrow. It's part of the journey, unfortunately. But the benefit has been nice. Like, you should see that BMW.
I was waiting for that.
So it's been hard, but I don't mind suffering to be good. I don't mind failing to be good, because I know, it's basically training. You're in the gym all the time. So I'm there during the week gymming. It's like, today at gym I scored a volley. Hey, I can't wait till I try that volley out on Saturday when I'm doing a nice big gig, a paid spot, a nice gig. That's exactly how it is. Today at gym I tried a volley. Hey, when I hit that volley on Saturday when I'm doing blacks only to 4,000 people, they're gonna be crazy impressed. Not like those 3 people, they didn't like it. They're gonna be crazy impressed, because I worked on that volley, and that volley was during the week, months on months. I've been working on that volley. when I get there to the big stage, when I'm getting booked for big show, I'm gonna be have so much fun doing that volley. Because I'll know how to do that volley. I'll know exactly when to volley the ball.
Aish.
That's how it is.
That's great. Have you ever done a show and no one laughed? Like for
People do that? Have I ever done a show where no one laughed? I've done shows where not no one laughed, but it was a struggle. Like they laugh, like they and just look at you. And that's not what you want as a comedian. You don't want. Who wants that? You know, you want big laughs. You want people to be like, yo, clap, stand up. You know. But then I've done nights where the audience is just rowdy and loud, where they don't even care what you have to say. They don't care. So it's not even, there's no one laughing, but they didn't give you a chance. Those are the worst audience, because people, I would rather perform to an audience that doesn't want to listen, that listens to me and don't find me funny, than listen to an audience that just, they don't give me a chance. Yeah. Like,
but how do you navigate? How do you navigate around that?
Man, you find ways. When you do comedy enough, when you do your craft, I think when you do your thing enough, you know what it's like to perform to 5 people. The one time they booked us for a gig in Kimberley, myself, Carvin, Goldstone, and Prince. They booked us for a 2,000-seater room. This was 6 years ago, right? In Kimberley, 2,000 people are supposed to come to the show, right? Only 30 people came. This is in a 2,000-seater room. This looks like a stadium of a room, right? It's the biggest room. Only 30 people came and they all sat in the front, right? And there was no one else in the room. When I say hello, there was an echo. Hello, 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 hello. Right? And then there was a security guard up top there in the bleachers. I was like, bro, who are you securing? There's no one there to secure.
To be secured.
There's only 30 people sitting in the front row. Because those rooms are huge, so 30 people, it's just one front row. It's not even 2 rows.
Sure, 3 rows.
It's not even 3 rows. And that's what it is. It comes with and we played it like it, myself and Carvin and Prince, we played that room like it was a 2,000-seater room. So some nights you just have to play like you're playing for 2,000 people when you're playing for 10 people.
Sheesh, I was about to say that. But I trust you gave it that same energy you would do if it was in a full room.
Yes, I love comedy more than I love fame, or not more than my BMW, but I love comedy more than I love fame and adulation. I love making people laugh. That's my thing, and I love the craft of comedy. So I keep doing comedy, so I keep getting better, and so I can get back my ex.
Wow, Dillan. So Dillan, tell me, what more is there to be expected from you?
I'm working on a show. I'm doing a tour. I'm announcing a countrywide tour soon. So please be on the lookout for that. That's exciting. It'll be my first countrywide tour by myself, because I've done shows around the country sporadically, but this is a full-blown tour and everything. So I'm excited for that. It's like my dream. It's my dream coming true, you know. Gonna do a tour around the country. I've booked, we're looking at doing all the cities. We've already got a few secured, but we're looking at doing all the cities. So that's a big thing. And my ad will be out on TV soon. What a difference a break makes.
Yes, oh yes.
So yeah, and that's like my biggest thing right now. Stand-up comedy, doing comedy all around the country, coming to your city everywhere, and hopefully put out a show that Netflix can buy one time. And yeah, that's the dream, to put the show out, to put a big show out for people to watch.
That's amazing. I like how you're taking something that doesn't seem like it can generate generational wealth, but you've put so much work into your craft where you're not just thinking for now. You're thinking for what is it? How can I make Dillan Oliphant a big comedy brand? And now you're talking about partnering with Netflix, and I'm just like, I never thought of that. I would never assume you would associate, like, so that's really, really, really beautiful. And it just shows that you must put your dreams out there. You must work at your dreams, and you must always believe that you can do the best.
Yeah,
I'm learning a lot from you.
Thank you. You must trust the process.
Speaking about trusting the process, what is trusting the process to you?
Trusting the process to me is putting in the time, putting in the work, knowing what you are worth, knowing exactly what you are worth, and trusting that what you are worth, the world will see in its entirety.
Quoted by Dillan Oliphant. That is beautiful. That is absolutely... Like, het gepractice, het je gepractice.
I only practice jokes.
Nothing else.
And how to get my ex back.
Dillan, I hear you talk about how much your dad has supported you and how he also wasn't fond of the idea of you going into comedy. And it's understandable. Like, a lot of our parents, it's just not lucrative enough. What would you say to a young comedian who's watching right now and they also don't have their parents' support and everything just seems like you can't make it a profitable thing? What advice would you give to that comedian watching right now?
My advice would be is don't listen to your parents. Move out of the house. Leave them. Go love on the streets. I'm like, my advice, I know it can be very difficult as a young person trying to follow a dream in the arts, because we know the arts can be fickle and people do not really take the arts as serious as the person doing the art. But I know that if you do put your mind to it, I know that sounds a bit cliche, but it is the truth. If you put your mind to it and you work on your craft and you do what you need to do, you can prove whoever wrong. Hey, and the best part is proving someone wrong. Hey, that's the best part, proving someone wrong. I'm talking to you, my ex. But proving someone wrong is the best part. So go out there, put your mind to it, work on your craft. They say, it was Will Smith who said, talent is from hard work. Talent comes naturally, but skill takes hours and hours of working on your craft. And that's the way to go, man. You've got the talent, now it's time to do the work. And that's the hard part. Doing the work is the hard part. But that's the part that is the most satisfying, because you're gonna get the pay. You're gonna drive a black BMW.
Dillan, we want to thank you so much for your time. I thoroughly enjoyed this interview.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're such a beam of light, man, and your humility is next to none.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So we'll be looking out for your show.
Yeah.
Do look out on his social media. If you're not following him, definitely, where can they get a hold of you? I know this is obvious, but...
You can follow me on Facebook, on Twitter and Instagram. I go there as Dillan Oliphant. I'm the first Dillan Oliphant there, so I got to keep all my things.
That's so nice.
Like my Twitter handle, I got to keep my Twitter handle as my name, Dillan Oliphant. I didn't have to say Dillan Oliphant, or like how some people say the real Dillan Oliphant. So some people have to say the real, or the that person. So I got to keep my name because I went on first. Yeah, first come, first serve.
Dillan, ons is lief vir jou, man. Ons is lief vir jou. And definitely, people must go out, look out for your show. Watch out for the KitKat ad. Are we going to see more ads? Are we going to see some acting maybe? Because ads and acting...
A year ago, I got my first little piece in a movie called Material 2. And then people don't believe me when I say I have a line in that movie, right? But I am in the movie because I've seen the movie, because I shot a little scene in the movie where I give Riyad Musa and Joger Rasdin directions. So I got my little piece of cinema, and hopefully soon I can make my own. I want to make my own cinema, make my own movies, get my own, do your own thing. That's what I'm about. I'm about doing my own thing.
Dillan Oliphant, the revolutionary. But no, honestly, we've learned a lot from Dillan, and I trust that Dillan's fresh approach to life gives you a fresh approach to life. This is your girl, Maxwell, the real hottie. This is the special edition. Trust the process, always. Love you guys.
Trust the Process is a great initiative. You guys should totally support it because it's straight out of El Dorado Park. What better way to get voices that resonate with you? And this is the perfect platform to have that, to have someone that sounds like you, that looks like you, that talks like you, to get it out in the world. So watch, trust the process. The only process is you watching, trusting the process. Away.